Hi, Ashley here and welcome to Funky Fresh Food. I recently came back from Spain where I got to try some amazing food and enjoy the sunshine, so I thought I'd try and recreate some of the magic for you by making 3 tapas and 1 amazing drink. Let's get cooking. The first tapas I'm going to get started with is basically just chorizo, so it's really simple but incredibly tasty. I've gone for a spicy chorizo as that's what I like, but if you're not a fan of the heat, just go for a plain one. We'll start the recipe off by finely slicing half a white onion and a couple of garlic cloves. We'll then grab our chorizo and chop it into chunky bite-sized pieces. We'll add these to a frying pan on a medium to low heat and let them cook away for around 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. You don't need to add any oil because the chorizo will release so much of its lovely paprika flavoured fat. Once the onions have softened up a bit and the chorizo is fully cooked, we're going to go in with some Spanish wine to deglaze the pan. We'll give this a good stir around, make sure we scrape off all the crispy bits from the bottom of the frying pan and wait until the wine has almost fully evaporated. Once the wine's reduced a bit, you'll be left with a lovely sticky sauce. And that's the chorizo recipe done. Next up we have fried goat's cheese. Now when I had these in Spain they were called goat's cheese cakes, but basically they're bits of lovely goat's cheese coated in breadcrumbs and fried. So this is another incredibly simple recipe to do. We'll start this off by getting our block of soft goat's cheese and slicing it into pieces about the width of your finger. A trick to make this easier is to put your goat's cheese in the freezer for about half an hour before, so it's easier to slice through. To give our goat's cheese a nice crispy coating, we're going to need an egg wash and then our breadcrumbs. The egg wash is really simple, we're just going to crack an egg into a bowl and give it a whisk up. For the breadcrumbs, you can use whatever type you like. I've decided to go with panko breadcrumbs, so it makes it extra crispy. To that, I've added a grind of black pepper and some garlic granules. We'll take each piece of goat's cheese at a time, dip it in the egg mixture, and then roll it around in the breadcrumbs. We can put these on a layer of greaseproof paper until we're ready to fry. We're going to pour some olive oil into a small frying pan until it just coats the bottom of the pan. We're going to put the frying pan on a medium heat, and once the oil's heated up, we're going to gently lower our pieces of goat's cheese into the frying pan. Don't put too many pieces of the cheese in the frying pan at once, otherwise you won't get the really crispy coating that we're looking for. Fry them for about a minute on each side until they're nice and golden, and then remove them from the pan and lay them on some kitchen roll to absorb any excess oil. And that's number 2 on our tapas list done. The final tapas recipe that I'm going to show you is for a Spanish omelette. It only contains a few ingredients, but it does take a little bit of time. But that's often the case with the things that look simple actually have a lot of work behind them. We'll start by getting our potatoes and slicing them into 3 to 4 millimeter slices. We'll then lay our slices out on kitchen roll to try and absorb any excess moisture. Into a frying pan we'll pour our olive oil and put it on a medium to low heat. Once it's heated up, we're going to add our potatoes and give them a good mix around. We'll cook these gently for 10 minutes, stirring occasionally and making sure that the potatoes are not browning in colour. Whilst that's happening, we're going to grab half a white onion and slice it really finely. Once the potatoes have had their time, we're going to add the onions to the pan, give it a good stir around and cook it for another 10 minutes. By now the potatoes and onions should be nice and soft, so we're going to drain off the excess oil and put these to one side. Into a bowl we're going to crack 4 eggs, give them a good beat around and then add in our potato and onion mixture. To this we'll add a grind of black pepper, give it a stir around and then leave it to one side for around 10 minutes. We'll give our pan a quick clean before adding about a tablespoon of the reserved oil back into the pan. We'll heat this up and then pour in our egg, potato and onion mixture. We'll use a spatula to smooth out the top and then we'll let this cook very gently for around 10 minutes. After this time, it should be set around the edges but maybe still have a little bit of raw egg on top. We'll go around the edges of the frying pan with a spatula to loosen it up and then it's time to flip it onto a plate. We can then slide it back into the frying pan and leave it to cook for another 5 minutes. You can chop this up into wedges and then that's our 3rd tapas done. So if you've got this far, you should have 3 amazing tapas in front of you. You could sit down and munch your way through a lot of them now, but I think some amazing tapas deserves an amazing drink, and I've got one just for you. The Tinto de Verano is an incredibly Spanish drink that's very popular out there, but it's also so simple to make. It just has 3 ingredients: red wine, red vermouth, and then a soda water lemonade hybrid that we don't really have in this country. So I've done a little bit of experimenting and have come up with the perfect alternative. To a jug, we'll add 2 parts red wine, 1 part red vermouth, 1 part soda water, and 1 part bitter lemon. And that's it. It's really that simple. Just pour it into a glass over some ice, maybe add a slice of lemon, and you're ready to go. So to give myself the authentic Spanish experience, I thought I'd come outside and enjoy my tapas outside in the sunshine, which we thankfully do have here in Britain. Right, I'm just going to try one of the goat's cheese ones. Tastes amazing, but I love goat's cheese, so you can never go wrong with that. Try some of the Spanish omelette. Somehow it manages to taste so creamy. So delicious. You can really tell that you've spent a little bit of time and effort with that one. Just try some of the chorizo now. Such a simple one, that chorizo, but tastes amazing. And I can wash it all down with a glass of Tinto de Verano. So good. You wouldn't think that mixing red wine with anything would make it taste good, but it really does. If you are planning on having like a barbecue this summer, forget that. Invite your friends round for some tapas and a Tinto. They'll love it. I reckon this is better than Pim's. Anyway, if you want to stay up to date with all my videos, then please subscribe. And if you've particularly enjoyed today's video, I have, it's been great, 3 recipes and a drink, then please give me a thumbs up. And yeah, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this in the sunshine. Bye. Muy bueno.